Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video to do my NFL Green Bay Packers Beast Week 15 recap. Um, so the Packers lost to the Broncos, unfortunately, 34-26. It was a very, very tough game that I believe we could have won, for sure. Obviously, there was a lot of big blows in this game. That we at one point had we had one point at one point we had a 2-score game on them. We had, on the opening possession, the Broncos fumbled the ball. Parsons forced the fumble, and we recovered it. We ended up getting a field goal off of that. So I was very confident in with the way we were playing today. The biggest key to this game, unfortunately, was the injuries, and a little too aggressive. And this is one of the things that I myself have criticized Jordan Love on for a while now. A little too aggressive at certain points in the game, as well as it just feels like when Love is under a lot of pressure, he makes decisions that aren't really the best. And it also happens with the clutch as well, in the 2-minute drill. So that was kind of how this game came down to. There were many opportunities for us to win this game. Again, when you're up by 2 scores and you pretty much are controlling the game like we were at one point, there should be no excuse for, against the number 1 ranked defense statistically. There was no reason to be being aggressive on first down, which is what he did. It cost us Christian Watson for the game because he got his first turnover of the game. And then Christian Watson, of course, was injured on that play and could not return. We don't know the status. We know it's a chest injury. And that's really all we know about that. In terms of on the defense played very well in this game, despite allowing a lot of touchdowns. We really contained them a lot in this game. Micah Parsons played an excellent game. Again, forced a fumble, caused their only turnover in the game. But the biggest hurdle was in the second half. Unfortunately, Micah Parsons got injured on a non-contact play, and this led to him being out for the game. And it is reporting that, unfortunately, it is likely a torn ACL. So Micah Parsons, unfortunately, is probably going to be out for the whole season, and barring some miracle that it isn't a torn ACL, but I'm pretty sure it is. And that's a blow to our defense because, he is the anchor of our defense. He was being doubled. He was being doubled in this game. And there was a lot of, they called one holding penalty the whole game. For the against Parsons. So there was one time the referees called it on Denver when they were clearly holding Parsons, but there were multiple times in this game, I think even really in the injury one play, where the refs, I really feel, didn't really do enough on the plays here with him, because there's just no way you can contain this guy. That being said, despite that, we did get, I think, a freebie, which allowed us to go up by 2 scores, and that was the pass interference play. That pass interference play, which the next play, of course, that was in the second half. That led to or that was right before it. But that led to the next play where Josh Jacobs got a touchdown, a rushing touchdown after that interference. I did not realize that was I didn't think it was pass interference when that happened. So we got a freebie there, but again, a lot of the non-holding calls that was going against Micah Parsons didn't help. But again, I think all of this doesn't happen if Jordan Love did not throw that interception when he threw it to Christian Watson. Because Christian Watson probably doesn't get injured there if he does that, if he doesn't do that. Because that was first down. We were at midfield or whatever, and it was first down, and we were up by 2 scores by that point. Okay. And for whatever reason, he threw it deep instead of trying to be methodical, like we had up to that point in the game. It was a very, very bad play, in my opinion, by Jordan Love, and that really changed the tide of the game. We didn't get another touchdown after that. We only got 1 field goal for the rest of the game, and it just didn't feel like anything was going right after that. Love started giving up sacks. He started holding on to the ball too long. Even in some of the freebies that Denver gave us, because they, for whatever reason, went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get it. Only 3 points for the rest of the game. That's just not good. And also another thing, I was just put this out here. What in the flying fuck was Matt thinking? Our head coach thinking when he decided to challenge that catch that the Broncos had. Okay, they ultimately set up a touchdown for them. But that was clearly a freaking catch, and why we wasted a goddamn challenge on that is news to me. Yeah, I didn't understand that at all. I still don't understand what Matt was thinking with that one. But yeah, we were really banged up coming out of this game, which is really unfortunate because we just started getting our receiving core back. And we don't know if Watson's going to be able to play next week. We know Parsons is probably not going to play next week because he's got a torn ACL most likely, and so he's probably out for the whole season. Well, he will be if it's torn ACL, but this is just a total bad, especially a scenario, especially since we got the Bears in Chicago next week again, who now are ahead in the division again. It's just, it was a crazy game. And just, again, Jordan Love, in that one last possession when we were down by 8, didn't really feel comfortable. Again, that was the second one. The second last one possession they had on 4th down, the freaking, he held onto the ball too long, got sacked. And then, of course, again, they had another opportunity because Denver, for whatever reason, handed it off to a fullback on 4th down, and we stopped them. We had an opportunity there, but we couldn't move the ball. In terms of mistakes, I think Jordan Love really should only be credited for the 1 interception because the second interception was on Wicks. Wicks literally had it in his hands, and he allowed the defender to get it. He tipped it to the defender, and that led to the second interception, which just killed us because, that's when we really needed it, We needed to make those big plays against this defense. And we couldn't do it because of you got to be perfect when you're playing a really good defense on offense. And we just didn't do it in the second half. Josh Jacobs, I would say, was the star of this game. He had a receiving touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown, obviously. So he was definitely the star, I think, of this game for the Packers. It just wasn't enough, unfortunately. Um, Jordan Love, 24 for 40, 276 yards passing. Most of that was in the first half. One touchdown pass, two interceptions. He also had 3 sacks. Again, biggest criticism of Jordan Love is he holds onto the ball too long at times. And this was another case. You got to throw that away, especially in those situations. And go for another down. I mean, there was I think the third down. There was a third down play. He took the sack and they were forced to go for it on 4th and 10. You can't give up stuff like that. Josh Jacobs rushing, 12 attempts for 73 yards, rushing a touchdown, obviously. Jordan Love had 3 attempts for 29 yards. And then Brooks had 2 attempts for 10 yards rushing. For receiving, Golden had 3 receptions for 55 yards. He was tied with Jaden Reed for 5 receptions for 55 yards. Jaden Reed had 5 receptions for 55 yards. Musgrave had 4 receptions for 52 yards. Romeo Doubs had 2 receptions for 36 yards. Christian Watson had 3 receptions for 29 yards. Josh Jacobs had 2 passes for 19 yards receiving. Two receptions for 19 yards. He did have a touchdown, obviously, as we talked about earlier. But yeah, that is really the breakdown. Again, Parsons forced a fumble. But again, nothing really else spectacular. There were a lot of times where some of our secondary could have gotten interceptions, but they dropped them. I think there was one with, I think Valentine could have had one. Things you just can't do in a game like this. Brandon McManus had 4 field goals, obviously. One of his longest was the 53-yarder, and the 2 extra points, obviously. But yeah, I mean, looking at this game, it's really disappointing, especially coming in next week, going up to Chicago, in a game we have to have for the division. Obviously, we just played him obviously last week. We're going to be without Parsons, possibly out with Christian Watson. Just not a ideal situation to be in. Just not the ideal situation to be in. And again, I think it goes back to, again, the Christian Watson interception. The play that Jordan Love did on that first down, it should never have happened. Absolutely should have never happened. Should have went a little more methodical before taking that shot. And that really, again, changed the game. We got to go out next week and own the Bears like we have for a while if we want to win this division, because they beat the Cleveland Browns in pretty convincing fashion. Browns aren't that good of a team, but I was kind of hoping that Sanders would do a lot better. But yeah, this is going to be critical, beating the Bears here, because we're now dropped to the 7th, and the Bears we're in Chicago against the Bears, and we're gonna have a lot of key guys out. So Jordan Love is gonna have to play lights out for us to win this game next week. You can't be making these mistakes, especially in fourth quarter situations, and holding on the ball. You cannot do that. Now, again, their defense is a little different from the Broncos' defense, but that's stuff you got to do. You got to do that. It's especially against the elite teams. I didn't think. I mean, when I played the Broncos here, I didn't think, based on the strength of schedule, I didn't think. I thought we had a really good shot at winning this game. Obviously, I was always confident that we were going to win this game, but and I said that in the Beast Picks episode, but injuries really derailed this, I think, and again the interception, really turned the game. But, we got to go out and we got to regroup. Next man up mentality against the Chicago Bears. That's what we got to do, guys. I'm, again, really upset about the loss, but just a lot of bad things all around that just happened. And again, the biggest thing that I'm mad about is I really want to know what Matt was thinking with the challenge, because that was ridiculous. That cost us a timeout. I don't think that would have changed the game, but I mean, it just really infuriated me of like why we were challenging it there. And then again, the referees, the poor officiating with the holdings, I think, is something that I think really needs to be addressed, because I mean, it was ridiculous at some of the holds that Parsons was getting before his injury in this game. But yeah, guys, that is it. I'm out. Comment, rate, if you like some videos, other videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for all these contents. Thank you. And that is about it, guys. I am the SS Ultimate Goku, and I'm out of here. Peace. Also, besides my YouTube channel, follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. And now I'm out. Peace.